قارن المؤرخ البريطاني أندرو روبرتس في مقاله بصحيفة فري بيكون بين المقترح الذي تقدم به دونالد ترامب بشأن نقل سكان غزة وأمثلة تاريخية لتجارب طبق فيها رؤى شبيهة مع شعوب فقدت أراضيها بعد هجمات فاشلة ضد جيرانها.
Lots of reasons why they are similar, and they can go back to the Anglo-Boer War of 1899 to 1902. They can go forward all the way to Yugoslavia, the end of communism in Yugoslavia, to Iraq, the Second World War and the Korean War and so on. The place where they're different, of course, is that usually the loss of sovereignty of the entity that attacks its neighbour, especially in an unprovoked and extremely violent attack on its neighbour, such as Hamas orchestrated against southern Israel on the 7th of October 2023.
وحظيت مقالة روبرتس بقبول واسع في واشنطن، حيث قدمت بعداً تاريخياً جديداً لمقترح ترامب، الأمر الذي خلق حالة استقطاب كبيرة في واشنطن.
Other people have, including some very influential people, have sent my article around. It's become a bit of a sort of viral sensation.
الفارق بين الحالتين هو أن حماس لم تعترف حتى الآن بهزيمتها عسكرياً مثل ما حدث في معظم الأمثلة والسوابق التاريخية الأخرى.
One sees, especially with the transfer of the hostages and the way in which Hamas soldiers completely, decked out in military gear, toting their guns, firing in the air in celebration at the return of their fighters, don't for a moment recognise that they have been military defeated. And so most of my precedents, these ones, as I say, that go back to 1899 and to 1918, 1919, the 1940s, where there were huge population transfers after the end of the Second World War, and lots of examples after that. In almost all of those cases, the defeated power recognised that the unprovoked, vicious attack had been defeated.
واستعرض روبرتس خلال لقاء خاص أجراه مع شبكة جسور العراقيل التي تحاول إدارة ترامب تخطيها لتنفيذ هذه الخطة.
And there are some major problems with it. The first and most obvious one is that Jordan is already the home to huge amounts of Palestinians. I mean, one could argue almost as many as half of Jordanians are Palestinians, and so the idea of there being many more is something that the Hashemite kingdom would quite understandably find very destabilizing. Secondly, there seems to be no appetite at all on behalf of the Egyptians to turn over a significant amount of the Sinai Desert to the Palestinians.
بينما تؤكد الدول العربية أن ليس كل أهالي غزة مسؤولين عما حدث في 7 أكتوبر ولم يختاروا هذا المصير، يشدد روبرتس على أن الأنظمة المتوحشة تحتاج فقط إلى دعم جزء من المواطنين لتمرير أجندتها، وعلى مدار 20 عاماً لم تفقد حماس هذا الدعم، مما مكنها من الوصول إلى لحظة 7 أكتوبر.
But the assumption, I think, that they are not supported is quite a big one. Whenever we see, and we've seen this recently, obviously, in the exchange of prisoners, whenever we see anything taking place in public, Hamas actually do seem to have support from the Palestinian population. And historically, not the majority of it necessarily, but enough of it for them to be able to stay in power. And historically, that's all you need. Dictatorships don't need majority support. That's the whole point of not being a democracy.